Saint Polycarp, also known as Polycarp of Smyrna, was a prominent figure in early Christianity and is recognized as one of the apostolic fathers. He was born around 69 AD, and his life is primarily known through his writings of his contemporaries, particularly Irenaeus, who was his disciple. Polycarp's life is significant not only for his personal virtues, but also for his connection to the apostles, particularly the apostle John. Here is a brief biography of Saint Polycarp. Polycarp was born in Smyrna, modern day Izmir, Turkey, which was a major city in the Roman province of Asia. Not much is known about his early life or family background. Tradition holds that he was converted to Christianity by St. John the Apostle, one of Jesus' original disciples, and he became John's disciple. Polycarp became a leader in the Christian community in Smyrna, eventually rising to the position of bishop. His leadership was marked by his adherence to apostolic teachings and his efforts to combat heresies that were emerging in the early Christian communities, particularly Gnosticism. Polycarp had a close relationship with Ignatius of Antioch, another early Christian bishop and martyr. Ignatius wrote several letters to various Christian communities while en route to his martyrdom in Rome. And in one of these letters, he addresses Polycarp with great respect and affection, encouraging him to continue in his leadership role. During Polycarp's lifetimes, Christians faced sporadic persecutions under the Roman Empire. In 155 AD, during the reign of Emperor Antonius Pius, a wave of persecution swept through Asia Minor. Polycarp was urged by his congregation to flee to safety, but he chose to stay, believing it was God's will for him to face martyrdom. Polycarp was arrested and brought before the Roman authorities, where he was given the opportunity to renounce his faith and to make sacrifices to the Roman gods to save his life. However, he steadfastly refused, affirming his loyalty to Christ. Despite threats of torture and death, Polycarp remained resolute. Tradition holds that he said, 86 years I have served Christ, and he never did me any wrong. How can I blaspheme my king who saved me? Polycarp was sentenced to be burned at the stake according to tradition. The flames did not harm him, so he was ultimately unalived by the sword. His martyrdom is celebrated on February 23rd, although the exact year of his unaliving is uncertain, ranging anywhere from 155 to 167 AD. Polycarp's steadfast faith and martyrdom made a profound impact on the early Christian community. He is remembered as a courageous defender of the faith and model of Christian virtue. His writings, particularly his letter to the Philippians, have survived and provided valuable insights to early Christian theology and practice. Polycarp's influence extended beyond his own lifetime, as he is mentioned with reverence by later Christian writers such as Irenaeus, and he was venerated as a saint in the Roman Catholic Church, Eastern Orthodox, Oriental Orthodox, Anglican, and other Christian traditions. In summary, St. Polycarp was a bishop in Smyrna who played a significant role in early Christianity, particularly in defending the faith against heresy and prosecution. His martyrdom and steadfastness in the face of death have inspired Christians for centuries, and his legacy continues to be celebrated in the church today. Saint Polycarp is depicted in various forms of iconography, each symbolizing different aspects of his life and martyrdom. While there is no single standardized depiction of Polycarp, several common themes and symbols are associated with him. Here's just a brief presentation of some of those symbols. Bishop's attire. Saint Polycarp is often depicted wearing the vestments of a bishop, symbolizing his role as the bishop of Smyrna. This typically includes a stole or omophoreon, a type of ecclesiastical vestment worn by bishops, indicating his authority within the church. A palm branch. The palm branch is a common symbol of martyrdom in Christian iconography. It represents victory over death and the triumph of faith that Saint Polycarp's steadfastness in the face of persecution and eventual martyrdom by burning at the stake are commemorative through the palm branch. Book or scroll. Polycarp is sometimes depicted holding a book or scroll, representing his writings and his role as a teacher and defender of the faith. His letter to the Philippians is one of the few surviving works attributed to him and is considered an important early Christian text. Fire or flames. Given that St. Polycarp's martyrdom involved an attempted burning at the stake, flames or fire may be included in iconography to represent this aspect of his life. Sometimes he is shown standing amidst the flames that miraculously did not harm him, highlighting his supernatural protection by God during his ordeal. Sword. In some depictions, St. Polycarp may be shown holding a sword, symbolizing the manner in which he was ultimately unalived. Tradition holds that he, after the flames failed to harm him, was unalived by the sword. The sword serves as a reminder of his martyrdom and his willingness to suffer for his faith. Aged appearance. Polycarp is often depicted as with a venerable and aged appearance, reflecting the tradition that he lived to an advanced age before his martyrdom. This portrayal underscores his wisdom, steadfastness, and long years of service to the Christian community. Halo or nimbus. As with other saints, Saint Polycarp is often depicted with a halo or nimbus surrounding his head, signifying his holiness and sanctity. This halo may be depicted with a cross, further emphasizing his status as a martyr for the Christian faith. These symbols and elements are commonly used in depictions of Saint Polycarp across various forms of religious art, including icons, paintings, and statues. Through these representations, believers commemorate his life, teachings, and martyrdom, seeking inspiration from his example of faithfulness and encourage in others to face persecution with courage. Saint Polycarp is associated with several miraculous events, as recorded in early Christian writings and traditions. These miracles serve to illustrate his sanctity, divine favor, and power of faith. While the accounts of these miracles may vary in detail, here is just some of the most notable ones attributed to him. Miracle of the Pillar of Fire. One of the most famous miracles associated with St. Polycarp occurred during his martyrdom. According to tradition, when he was sentenced to be burned at the stake, the flames miraculously formed an arc around him, not touching his body. Instead of being consumed by the fire, Polycarp appeared to be surrounded by a pillar of fire, which amazed the spectators. This event was interpreted by witnesses as a sign of God's protection and favor towards Polycarp. Healing miracles. Saint Polycarp is also said to have performed healing miracles during his lifetime. According to some accounts, he had the gift of healing, and numerous peoples sought his intercession for various ailments and afflictions. Through his prayers, many were reportedly cured of illnesses and infirmities, demonstrating his role as a channel of divine grace and healing. Resurrection of a slave. One remarkable miracle attributed to Saint Polycarp involves the resurrection of a deceased slave. According to tradition, a Christian woman named Callista had a servant who died suddenly. Distraught, she sought out Polycarp and begged him to intercede with God on behalf of her deceased servant. Moved by her faith and compassion, Polycarp prayed fervently, and the slave was miraculously restored to life, to the amazement of all who witnessed the event. Predictions and prophecies. Throughout his life, St. Polycarp is said to have made several accurate predictions and prophecies. For example, he reportedly foretold his own martyrdom and the manner in which he would die. He also made predictions about future events within the Christian community, which were later confirmed by historical events. Protection from persecutors. In addition to the miracle of the pillar of fire during his martyrdom, there are accounts of Saint Polycarp being protected from harm by divine intervention on other occasions. For example, when Roman authorities attempted to arrest him before his martyrdom, he miraculously evaded capture and was hidden from pursuers, allowing him to continue his ministry for at least some additional time. These miracles attributed to Saint Polycarp are celebrated as manifestations of God's power and mercy, as well as testimonies to Polycarp's holiness and faithfulness. While some of these accounts may have been embellished over time, they continue to inspire believers and affirm Polycarp's status as a saint within the Christian tradition. The process of sainthood for Saint Polycarp followed the typical trajectory of early Christian saints, with recognition and veneration grown over time through popular devotion and the testimonies of believers. Unlike the formal canonization process established by the Catholic Church in later centuries, the recognition of saints in the early church was often more informal and based on local veneration and traditions. Here's a brief overview of how St. Polycarp came to be recognized as a saint. Almost immediately after his martyrdom, Polycarp was revered as a saint by the Christian community in Smyrna and beyond. His steadfast faith, martyrdom, and reputed miracles quickly earned him a reputation for holiness and sanctity amongst believers. The accounts of Saint Polycarp's life, martyrdom, and miracles were recorded by early Christian writers and historians, including Ignatius of Antioch and Irenaeus of Lyon. These testimonies helped to spread knowledge of Polycarp's virtues and contributed to his growing veneration among Christians in early centuries. The cult of martyrs was also a significant aspect of early Christian devotion, with martyrs being revered as heroic witnesses to the faith and models of Christian virtue. Polycarp's martyrdom and the miraculous events associated with it contributed to his status as a revered martyr saint. As early Christian communities began to compile lists of martyrs and their feast days, also known as martyrologies, Saint Polycarp was included among the honored saints. His feast day commemorating his martyrdom on February 23rd became a significant date in literature or liturgical calendar. Saint Polycarp's memory was also kept alive through liturgical celebrations, prayers, and devotional practices within the Christian community. Churches dedicated to his honor and believers sought his intercession for protection, healing, and spiritual guidance. While there is no formal canonization process as it is understood in later Catholic tradition, St. Polycarp's status as a saint was recognized by the Universal Church through the widespread veneration and cult surrounding him. This recognition was affirmed by the ongoing veneration of Polycarp by successive generations of Christians and the inclusion of his name in liturgical calendars and hagiographical works. St. Polycarp's recognition as a saint reflects the enduring esteem and veneration according to him by the Christian community throughout the centuries. His memory continues to be honored by Catholics, Eastern Orthodox, Oriental Orthodox, Anglican, and other Christian denominations, testifying to his enduring legacy as a faithful discipline and martyr of Christ.